Notre Dame, 11.5. Shocker, right? The two big games for Notre Dame are Miami and USC,
They
right?
got BYU on the
BYU.
road, I believe.
Okay, but the rest of their
They play
schedule
SMU.
is pretty easy from what I can remember.
11.5 feels about right given that schedule.
Especially
Miami,
the weapons they're bringing in on offense. We're going to get to it in a little bit, but I am very high on CJ Carr coming into next year. He was fantastic last year when he basically didn't have any elite wide receivers to throw the ball to. They brought in some guys for him. He was a true freshman last year, and he had incredible poise. He's a sleeper for the Heisman, in my opinion, especially being at Notre Dame. I think he could put up great numbers against an easy schedule. He could rack up the numbers, and if he performs in the big games, he could be right there with the best quarterbacks in the country, in my opinion.
Yeah. I think a lot of those at the top. Miami feels about right. SMU
Yep.
feels about fine. I think it's 7.5 group. I think
too high for Cal.
Yeah, it's a little high for Cal. I think it's too high for Virginia. I don't believe they'll hit that mark.
I feel like Pitt goes 7-5 or 8-4 every year, so that sounds about right.
Yeah, Clemson. I don't know what to expect of this.
I have no idea about Clemson. Like, who knows? Is Christopher Vizina the answer? I feel like if he was, we would have seen by now, but I can't rule it out. He has a lot of talent.
But that seems very reasonable, at least for Clemson, a 7.
Yeah, I think Clemson fans don't want to see them at 7.5 on the win total chart, but I think that's about right. I say 6.5 is too high for Florida State. I think they bottom out and fire Norvell at the end of the year.
Yeah, I don't see that one happening.
I think that's way too high for Florida State. There's no way they make a bowl game, in my opinion. Georgia Tech, NC State, Virginia Tech, Wake Forest. That's all kind of makes sense. I think Wake Forest, maybe, they're kind of a cyclical program, maybe putting a little too much stock into how they did last year. Although Dicker, kudos, man. That guy has the Deeks, playing hard last year, but I don't know about 7 wins.
The Duke number feels off, and I need to do a deep dive into why that number. I mean,
do they have just a crazy schedule? I haven't looked at their schedule.
Yeah, that just. I mean, again, I got to go back into their roster. I mean, I know losing Darian Mintz is important, but my goodness, Manny Diaz.
I mean, they did struggle in some games last year.
I know. But
remember they struggled with UConn, and
they won the ACC championship.
Yeah,
I mean,
it was such a weird year, like for Duke. I don't know. Yeah, I don't know.
It just I trust Manny Diaz. It feels like a little low.
Yeah, I think Boston College and Stanford is right on the money. I could see Syracuse being a surprise team to maybe get to a bowl, even though they're only at 4.5. Especially if there's, Florida State and Duke and Wake are maybe not as good as we think. I keep an eye on maybe that Syracuse over 4.5. I like what they're doing up there in New York. So
yeah, I agree.